Hello everyone, my name is Lamzes, and this is Beginner's Guide to World of Warships in 2024. Today's episode number 6, I will talk about captain skills. Now, if you watched my previous guides, you know that I advised you to not worry about captain skills and modules until you reach tier 5 ships. And this is the reason behind it. As you can see, I'm on my EU account. This is the only account I possess. I don't have any press accounts, so that's why if you have any ship request, I can only do it with ships I possess. I've got a lot of tier 10s, but going back to tier 1s, I got few of them. I didn't sell them because I still have vacant slots, so I don't have to sell them. If you have any problems with slots, you can sell these ships. They are worthless, 0 credits and 0 XP, so you can buy them back anytime you want. Tier 2, I've got few. Remember, never sell premium ships, because wargaming gives you premium ships from time to time, and they are like low tiers, but if you don't sell them, when you open super containers, you've got better chance to draw something better than you already have. Because if I sell these 2 ships, every time I open super container, I've got the chance to draw them back, and I don't want this shit, so I want something better, so I keep them anyway. As you can see, I don't have tier 3s, and tier 4s, no, almost none. But tier 5 situation changes. Tier 5 is the tier when you stop playing co-op and operations and start playing random battles. And this is why all campaigns you have 5 of them, they have missions you can complete with ships starting from tier 4 to 10 and super ships. 4 to 10, but the later stages of missions and campaigns are tier 5 to 10, and the last one is available for you for tier 6 to 10. So you can complete majority of campaigns with tier 5s and the last steps with tier 6. And you've got the combat missions. For example, here you see the ships you need are ships tier 5 to super ships. So that's why when you reach tier 5, you stop selling ships and you keep the ones that are strong at this tier and progress your grind to tier 10. Okay, so you now know that you should start collecting ships from tier 5s, unless you are a ship collector and you want to have them all, but I think the 5 is the lowest useful tier you can have. When you switch from co-op and operations to random battles at tier 5, it's good to have captain, because a good captain will make your ship just better. So let's start with destroyers. I've got tier 5 heal with 10-point captain and why 10-point captain? I think that to be competitive on any tier above 5, you should have at least 10 points on the captain, and this is why. Destroyers captains, you've got the right side of the skill tree is defensive skills, and the left side are offensive skills. And as a beginner in destroyer captain, you should always take the right side and increase your defense. So as a first skill, I would recommend incoming fire alert to everyone. If you don't want this or don't need this, this is the good alternative skill, but I'm sticking to incoming fire alert. On tier 2, always and always, I will said it once again, always take last stand, because you will die without this skill. The third tier, you've got choice again. You can use survivability expert, and I recommend it because additional HP is always good. But if you got a destroyer with smokes, and this is English destroyer, so good smokes and speed boosts, you can always use this skill as alternative. But I'm sticking to survivability expert. And tier 4 for your last 4 points, always take concealment. Because destroyers live and die by concealment. So these are 4 skills you master first. And then, if you've got more than 10 points, you can start thinking about offensive skills. Like adrenaline rush, or better torpedo reload, or better gun reload, or whatever. But these are your first 4 skills, first 10 points spent on destroyer captain. Now let's switch to cruisers. First 4 skills, first 10 points on cruiser captain. And I've got here tier 5 Marblehead, and again 10 undistributed points. And on cruisers, as on destroyers, you've got right side of a tree with defensive skills and left side with offensive skills. And on the cruiser, I always start with last stand. This is a crucial skill, and every cruiser and every destroyer, in my opinion, should have this one. And on the destroyer, that was tier 2, on cruisers is tier 1, so only 1 point. But there's a little switch, because on tier 2 you've got the priority target. You took on the destroyer, if you listen to me, incoming fire alert. On cruiser you take priority target. Tier 3, most cruisers I'm taking superintendent, and this is because I mostly play tier 10 cruisers, and they have repair party, so additional repair party is for me worth more than this few thousand HP here. That's why I'm using this one, so I don't have to switch from survivability expert to superintendent on tier 10. And usually I don't have enough points, even with 21 point skill captain, to have both of these skills. So on tier 10s I'm using this skill, so I don't have to switch from this skill and retrain the captain. I'm taking this one, but both of them are available. And of course, as a tier 4 skill is concealment expert. It's mandatory on almost every ship I possess and every ship you will play. Okay, in last class I will be talking about our battleships, and to talk about them I need to change it to tier 6. I've got again undistributed 10 points, and on battleships, as previous classes, right side defensive skill, left side offensive skills, and I always recommend defensive skills because the longer you live, the more damage you can do. So defensive skills, they let you live longer and do more damage anyway, so they are half offensive as well. And on battleships you've got 2 skills to choose. Preventive maintenance, I usually use it on secondary battleships to not lose secondary modules, but incoming fire alert for me is the best one. On tier 2, almost every battleship I'm taking offensive skill, because the older lines of battleships, they have very slow traverse, and the thing I hate the most is waiting for my guns to turn on target. So this is my only exception. I'm not taking the defensive skill but offensive skill as the second one. The third row, I usually take basics of survivability because I want to have my fires shorter and my flutes shorter. And fourth row, it's always concealment. Almost always. I will show you exceptions, but You can't go wrong with concealment on every single ship. And remember, after reaching tier 8, you need to pair it with a concealment module. You have them both or none. So we've got first 10 points of captain skills covered on every surface ship class. I don't talk about CVs and submarines because you know my opinion about them. But you may ask, what about these recommended skills? Should I take them or not? Because if you are a beginner, you don't know better. So I will say this. You can take whatever skill you want, as long as a DD and cruiser you've got last stand, and on every ship you have concealment expert as soon as possible. So the moment you reach 10 points, you should have concealment expert. Whatever you do with your points, it's your choice. I showed you what I'm using, and the decision is ultimately yours. Now, fewer examples of tier 10 builds and exceptions from the rule, and I will show you on my ships. I started with all Japanese lines, so I've got 21 skill captains on my Japanese ships. So you've got here Shimakaze, and of course I took the preventive maintenance, last stand. I took the superintendent, but then I have to change it to adrenaline rush, because after taking concealment as a 10 skill point, I put all my other points in offensive skills. And for a cruiser, as Zhao, I took last stand, like I recommended you. I took priority target, superintendent and concealment, and if I took this survivability expert, I have to change my skills to superintendent, and all other points from 10 to 21 are offensive skills. And Yamato, I took preventive maintenance because Isoroku Yamamoto has the specialty in this one. And then better turret traverse because Yamato turrets are 1 minute. And then again, I would take this one, but because I'm offensive player, I just change it to adrenaline rush. But to compensate it, I took all 3 defensive skill on row 4. And then put vigilance because I want to see torpedoes as soon as possible. And the last point was gun feeder. American battleships are similar but a little bit different. They have I start with gun feeder because I don't have that many points, and I want this basics of survivability on Montana. It's a very tanky ship, and I want to make it even more tanky. The only offensive skill I took was the adrenaline rush. And there is a total exception from the rule. These are secondary battleships for me. For example, German ones. I've got 21 point captain here, and you can see if you want to have secondaries as soon as possible, the first 10 points you need to spend here, so you cannot afford concealment anyway. And this is the German Preußen, but on Schlieffen you need to use concealment because Schlieffen has great concealment, almost equal to its secondary range. So you take the secondaries first, and then you have to spare some points to concealment. Even if I don't have 21 points, I still took the concealment, and that's why I don't have these defensive skills I should have. In the next episode I will talk about what's your role in the game as a DD, cruiser or battleship. And if you like this kind of content, please don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, and maybe even subscribe. So thanks for watching, and of course, see you in the next one.